Hello and welcome to episode 195 of First Geek 411. This week we got Good Mythical Morning, Wordle, monitors, and Sony buying Bungie. And then we're going to be wrapping up with our top three finales submitted by Chunk the Hut. I'm Cameron Franklin, your host, and with me, as always, my best man, Chris Nicolay. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. Tired. I'm home. That's nice.
Joining us, the Hoot and How. Shanine, how are you?
Still kicking.
Technically alive. And then all the way from sunny California, Emma, how are you doing?
I did quite a bit of speed walking to get here.
We appreciate your zoomies.
All the zoomies. In a good mood.
Yeah.
How are you, Cameron?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. No one ever asks, 195 episodes.
That's false.
Yeah. If you want to ask how I'm doing, you can do that over at OneGeek411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can join our Discord server or shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. You can also watch live Monday nights at 6:45 Mountain Time, part of the post-show chats, and find the videos over on YouTube where you can leave a comment. You can also rate and subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts and check out that Redbubble store. Everyone, hello. Glad to have you here. Hope you've had a good week. Emma, what have you been up to?
The same thing that I know at least two other people have been doing, if not all four of us.
I did. I just didn't write it down because everyone else did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we had a conversation about
That's
it.
why I wrote it down because everyone else did.
Yeah.
But
Shane wanted to be a hipster.
watched Legend of Vox Machina and loved it. Of course, that's just been my entire thing for the past month and a half. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. Can't wait for Thursday and Friday this week. I've also been working on the Horizon Zero Dawn Platinum over the past chunk of time. I am down to needing one left, and that is the getting all of the corrupted areas. So that shouldn't be too hard. And I don't know how many I have left, but it's not very many. So once I get those done, I will have my first ever platinum. So, yay!
I believe in you.
So do I, because it's not a very challenging list, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. So that's been my week aside from school. Did some dancing this weekend.
Ooh, what kind of dancing did you do?
I don't know.
Okay.
The sinful kind.
No.
According to the Church of Christ, that's any kind.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Unless it's choreography.
Yeah.
In which case, we're going to have an entire event dedicated to it.
Yes.
Yes.
How do we differentiate? I don't know.
Yeah. It's only okay if it's planned. Anything remotely spontaneous.
Yeah, and I planned to
Not
go out
allowed.
last weekend.
Speaking of going out last weekend, Chris, what have you been up to?
Wait, what about Janine?
We go in crazy orders.
Okay.
He said Shanine, and then I interrupted.
And then we kept going,
Yeah.
and so now it's Chris.
Okay.
Well, Janine, I hear you and I see you.
Thanks.
So I finished house sitting, but other than while I was house sitting though, I did bring my PS4 over and decided to jump back into Final Fantasy X, which apparently I haven't booted up since 2019, and try working a little more toward that platinum, which is the longest platinum ever. Got one more trophy done, and then I think there's 9 more. Which is, so right now I'm working on filling out the sphere grid, and it turns out that you can't just fill the sphere grid, you have to actually go through and populate the empty nodes, for those who know what I'm talking about.
So estimated time for the Final Fantasy X Platinum is 110 hours.
Ooh. Ooh.
that's definitely for hardcore people. I don't think that's really possible. Like granted, I don't know how much actual downtime is. I have 170 hours clocked on the game right now. Granted, I also used to leave the game up and for the day and walk away and stuff. And I also don't know if it counts when you're in pause or how it works, how it calculates that in game. But yeah, it's fun. What else did I throw on here? I too have watched The Legend of Vox Machina and really enjoying it. When I got back, I reorganized my kitchen so I can have space for pickling. And so I've spent a lot of this week watching kitchen organization videos on YouTube and had to go buy a bunch of stuff, but it's so much better. That's been my focus this week. I don't know why, but I did make pickles.
Spontaneous remodeling.
I did make pickles. They're really good.
For real this time. Shanine, what about you?
Okay. Yes, I did watch Legend of Vox Machina.
It's not on the list.
What I will say about it
Not
is
unless
that
didn't happen.
somehow Matt Mercer still managed to voice a character that I didn't recognize him as. So
How?
He sounds different all of the time.
Also,
Fair.
big shout out to Azula.
Oh, I know.
That's one part I don't know how I feel about the casting decision.
Maybe it'll grow on you and maybe it won't.
Right?
I guess we'll see.
Because it feels too much like Azula.
Fair.
And I think that might be my problem with it, is it sounds and feels like Azula, but it's not Azula. I'm like, oh.
Not Azula so far.
I mean, thinking back to the campaign, like, yes, but also, like, I don't know. But we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
We've still got, 7 more episodes to go? 6, 7? I think there's 10. 9 or 10 episodes. Who knows?
It's Amazon. Who knows what they're doing?
Okay.
Sorry.
Continue.
So I talked about Titans before and said that this season was really good. And then we finished the second half of the season. And I have to retract my previous statement.
What happened?
What happened? Yes.
Yes, everything.
Just like, oof. Don't get me started.
Shanine, this is literally a platform for you to get started.
I don't know how to, without spoilers, I don't know. So the first half of the season was really good. They did a really good job with the villains and stuff. And then they were like, but what if we made the villains not like that in the second half of the season, which was not great. And then I still just, every time Starfire comes on screen, I'm so bored and I hate it. And then they're like, what if we gave Starfire a sister? And you're like, double Starfire. Great. I love it. I hate everything. This is terrible. Yeah. Starfire is awful. Blackfire is worse.
And is this just the first
Makes
season
me
you
This
just
is
started?
season
Or
3.
you started season 3, okay. I could never get into it. I was very hopeful, and then I tried, and I was like, oh, you know what? Do you know what I really need for these characters? Is just
Animation.
Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And no, not Teen Titans Go, because no.
You know what? It's not even that bad, though.
Shanine.
Teen Titans Go is probably better. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Titans has its moments, but then it also has its real bad moments. So
Yeah, I was so excited for Titans because DC shows have been so great most of the time. But
I haven't watched any of them fully through.
But yeah, and then I was just like, maybe I don't. Maybe, And that was just season 1. But yeah, I just need more animation.
Season 1 and 2 were pretty good, but
I just want them to go back and finish Teen Titans as it should have been and call it good.
But what if we didn't do that? And instead, we did another Teen Titans reboot. That was still not what you wanted.
I mean, that's probably going to be my life.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
all that to say is I can't recommend Titans. You just have to make a personal decision for yourself if you want to put yourself through that or not. Because there are some really good moments. Just upset. We're like almost done Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think like 2/3 of the way. I think.
Well, finish that third so you can watch Ranking of Kings.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. The thing that I was worried about happened and was equally as upsetting. It's probably not the thing that you're thinking it is.
Oh.
You're probably already past that.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty early.
I mean, this thing also happened pretty early, but not as early as that.
I don't know. There's a lot of disappointing things that happen in that show, but in the best, like in the good way, disappointing.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And like, I am heartbroken because of my emotional attachment to best dad and husband.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking, but
yeah,
and I think Cameron was thinking, why is this doing this?
Oof.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
was
I was thinking about the pupper.
It was. I also upset about the pupper. It was more upsetting this time around than the first time around in just Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know how they spent less time on it and made it more emotionally impactful, but it was. So. But also I've met General Armstrong and she's so cool.
Great supporting cast in that.
Yeah, it's been great. Also, still can't get past Travis Willingham being Colonel Mustang. I hear it and I listen to his voice and I'm like, nope, it's not him. That's not his voice. I don't get it.
Oh, dubbed.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just a baby anime fan. Okay.
It's okay. I'm just messing. I even throw out ones that I know are dubbed. Like, Ranking of Kings is being dubbed. Just throwing it out there again.
I came here to watch, not to read.
I'm not opposed to reading. It's just I've started watching them in English, so I like have to continue.
Well, I've started
or it would be weird and confusing.
I've started the journey to be the hardcore anime fan, so I can watch not dubbed and not subbed.
Real hardcore.
It's actually not that hard, but
gotta believe.
It's also very hard because I'm old and do not pick up things as easily as I used to.
Good for your brain, though.
Yeah. The recall is what's hard. Like, the quick recall. I don't got that right now. I have to think about things a lot. So that's what we've been up to. Oh, wait. Shanice has one more.
Got more.
No. Nobody wants to listen to me.
See, they cut you off earlier
Janine.
and then try to cut you off again.
I got to do a Doctor Who one shot. It was very fun. The yeah, the tabletop role playing system is very different from anything I've ever played before. It felt very Doctor Who-y.
Is everyone the
It was
doctor?
very fun. No,
Oh.
we did not have a doctor. We had a Time Lord, but we did not have the doctor.
There
Yeah,
are
it
more
was
Time
great.
Lords.
They're all still alive?
Yes.
You mean he's not the last of the Time Lords?
Depends
I
on the
know.
time in which
We've
this
heard
takes
this
place.
before.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Now that hurts
all
my
the
brain.
serious questions.
I don't understand how there could be a last of the Time Lords. That doesn't make sense to me.
But yeah, it was very fun. Mike from Geek at Arms DM'd it for us, and it was very fun. I think we solved the problem much differently than he was expecting. And also, I don't think we did like even half as much of the adventure as he had prepared for us, but it was great.
Sounds very typical of being a DM.
Especially for one shots.
Yes. Because you have to be like over prepared for one shots. Whereas like multi-session ones, you're like, we're gonna end up having to stop this, and I can figure it out then.
So for me, I also did a one shot this past week, although mine was D&D over for Average Gaming. They're doing a monthly one shot, and so I played a Air Ganassi rogue, and so that was fun. We also have like the least balanced party ever, so we just kind of noped out of like the last half of the combats and walked out. So, because I think our tankiest person had 11 HP.
Ooh,
And so we were like, yeah, we had
that's rough.
a rogue, a warlock, and a bard.
At what level?
One.
Level 1 shot? What? Who does that?
And so, yeah, it was indeed something that happened. And also, like, big shout out to us all, like, basically being ranged characters. And so, so that was fun. But
As
yeah,
long as you can maintain it, it's fine.
Especially when like my character specifically was built for like ranged sneak attack. So like here we go. But yeah, it was good. We saved the person who was kidnapped and then ran away as quickly as possible.
Woo.
Bravely, of course, but ran away.
Ran away with courage.
With courage, yeah. And then, as everybody else was watching The Legend of Vox Machina. And so really excited first 3 episodes. Nothing crazy to say other than what has already been said. Other than as much as I really like the Briarwood story, I feel like Percy is definitely going to wear on me again, which is kind of how I feel about that character in general. But
I feel like it might not, because the pacing is so much faster.
This is true. You have to deal with him a lot less over 10 episodes versus
4 hours for one
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is
Oh,
what
yeah.
I've been doing. You know?
But yeah, so been enjoying that a lot. Looking forward to more. Loving the animation style.
Oh, yeah.
Like well done.
Fun fact, there's hidden D20s throughout the show. I don't know if anyone's noticed that.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
But now I will be looking all of the time.
Look all of the time.
And then my copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus arrived today.
Woo.
And so I have been playing that. Picked Rowlet as my starter, best owl.
True that.
And so that's been going pretty well.
I also really like this form.
Yeah.
Actually, I like all the what's the region called?
Hisue.
Hisue forms. Like I'm even tempted to pick Cyndaquil. Tempted, not going to, but
But yeah, so like that's been a lot of fun. And a lot of the complaints are definitely valid in the sense that like, yep, the world is kind of empty. Yep, stuff is going on like that, but it's just so fun to walk around and throw Pokeballs at things. And then it's almost like third person shooter, except you're throwing Pokeballs. And so, and then like the little things of like when you're in a battle, you can actually like walk around and like move, like when you can like run away from a battle by like literally running away. And I'm like, you know what? I like this. But those are the big things. I'll definitely have more Pokemon thoughts coming soon. But that brings us into our discussion topics for this week. Listeners, hit us up with what you have been up to over in the Discord. But Emma, why don't you kick us off?
With the thing that I put down because I couldn't find anything more interesting. Still news though. So the YouTube channel Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link, which I watch on occasion, got a deal for a new show on Food Network. So basically the channel, they eat weird stuff on occasion. And they, in this new show on the Food Network, they go around and try American food brands and figure out / interview
Boring
those companies.
concept, good personalities.
Yes,
Like,
that's the thing.
It's like
Boring concept, but the personalities, I feel like it's almost like the world according to Jeff Goldblum. Like, okay, mediocre concept, but very interesting.
But you know, Jeff Goldblum is interesting.
Yes. So like, I'm mildly interested to see where this could go, just based on the people who are involved with it.
Yeah, then again, Food Network's not the most creative network in trying to come up with creative ways to go about food, which is very disappointing.
Yep. But some of the stuff they've done in the past is pretty fun. So, I mean, on the one hand, it's, oh boy, another YouTuber got a TV show. But on the other, it's like, okay, like, you guys are not the most dramatic people.
I'm still amazed that cable networks still try to do stuff.
They're fighting the good fight.
They are fighting the good fight, and it's just like, you know,
it's like, no, you make your money by selling your product to streaming services.
Yep.
It's like, oh, Netflix gets the rights to stream this show. Boom, money.
Well, bam.
Yeah, and then you just run reruns all the time on network if you have to maintain a channel, I guess.
Yep. Exactly.
Welcome to the modern age.
So there's that for anyone who enjoys GMM out there. Yeah.
I'll definitely watch like an episode or two of this once it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
Like, just because, I mean, as Chunk says in chat, Rhett and Link are a couple of pretty big personalities. Like, they're so engaging.
They are.
Like,
but like not the obnoxious kind of engaging.
Yeah, not the obnoxious kind.
For
which
YouTubers.
was, yeah. They're like
they're just mellow, good
not
friends.
Not the dramatic
that do
YouTubers who are just, their big personalities cause drama. I can think of a few who cause drama just based on their personalities.
Or they're just always yelling at me.
Like,
yeah.
Smash that like button.
I ain't smashing nothing. Do you know how much this computer costs? It's not worth that much anymore.
There you go.
Technically, it's actually worth more.
Speaking of computers, Chris, what do you got for us?
So, to start us off, monitors are getting dumb on the most pointless metric, in my opinion, which is its refresh rate. Currently high-end, currently available on the market, you can get gaming monitors at 360 hertz, which is 360 frames, new frames, loading onto your monitor every second. Can you see that fast? No. Does it actually look smoother than 240? Probably not. But we're still doing it. And a company, and for whatever reason, it's just like a new challenge. A Chinese company called BOE believes they have a prototype that operates at 500 hertz.
But
Maximum
what you're
zoomy.
saying is just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Well, first, that means your computer has to update your monitor every 2 milliseconds. So first, your computer has to be able to operate and provide the data to the monitor for it even to matter. But also, does it matter to you? Or you're like, what? We're at the limits of what we can literally do. You know, I'm not saying that like the first ones were fine. Now it's just like it's a gimmick that companies are developing to try to get gamers to buy things, and it's gone too far. It went too far at 360. Never mind getting a graphics card that can do it, but like 240 is like right on the brink, and everyone that's done the tests pretty much says like, yeah, like, can I see a difference between 120 and 240? I think so. Does it make a difference in performance for them? Maybe, but 240 is kind of like, I'm pretty sure they've done some tests of 240 to 360. Like, the majority of us aren't going to. It's not going to matter. But yeah, I don't. It's just why stop it.
Just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, I'd prefer more resolution, and even then, I think that's a gimmick beyond 4K. Which is why we didn't see any 8K TVs at CES.
Skips straight to 12K.
It'll go to 16. But like, yeah, like resolutions only matter as soon as you are getting larger formats. Like a 4K 27-inch monitor, not going to typically pick up on that. Just because, yeah, at that size, like each individual pixel is so small. Pixel concentration is a thing. But yeah, refresh rates are just getting ridiculous, and they're expensive. And granted, I also don't know what I want the next big monitor or TV enhancement to be. I know it wasn't NFT markets like we saw at CES. I know I don't want that. It's what I do know.
Amen.
Reach.
But yeah, 500 hertz, pointless. But in other news, more exciting news, so Final Fantasy VII celebrated its 25th anniversary.
Woo.
25 years old.
Almost off its parents' insurance.
And the Final Fantasy series celebrated its 35th. Almost off, yeah. But it can rent a car for cheaper now.
Mm-hmm.
Just almost off its health insurance. It's been able to drink for the last few years. Can drink
Yeah,
with
its
it.
back is starting to hurt when it wakes up.
No.
Not yet, no.
Starting.
If I'm not there, it's not there.
Right, but you're also not carrying around a giant sword. That doesn't make sense physically. So,
But I am hauling around camera equipment.
touche. You win this round, Emma.
He's also been enhanced with Mako, just throwing it out there. But as a result, we got the announcement. Granted, we've had a lot of Final Fantasy VII spin-offs. Granted, one was a... No, that's not right. A Battle Royale. I was like, I almost said MOBA.
Says the webcam.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. There's nothing, like, the battery's fully charged. Pause. Okay. So we got, which was the First Soldier, I think. We've already had so many spin-offs previously. We're obviously getting the remake. We getting later set to release later this year, I think, actually, is Ever Crisis. But yeah, on their Instagram, they slated like more spin-offs are possibly in the works. And I'm just like, also, once again, stop it. and give me part 2 of Remake. There's
It's
certain
never
things
gonna
I want
happen.
in this world.
There's just only going to ever be part 1.
Oh, that'd be so disappointing. That'd be the most disappointing thing in my life. Yeah. It's like you can't just do part 1. It's like I would have rather you just not did it at all if that's the case. But I'm excited to see what they do with these spinoffs. Like, I don't consider necessarily First Soldier to be a true spinoff. It's mostly just a battle royale that's based in the world of Final Fantasy VII, but doesn't really have anything to do itself with Final Fantasy VII. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I tried it. It was only on it's only on mobile, which is also weird. So everyone's playing on their phone or a tablet. And you can connect a controller, I guess, but yeah, Battle Royale 7. I don't know. We'll see what else I get, because like I think Dirge of Cerberus was really good when we had Vincent's Story back on PS2. But maybe they're doing other remakes of those or bringing them to more platforms. We'll see.
Shanine, we got a twofer when it comes to acquisitions. Why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, acquired by New York Times is our new favorite word game, Wordle.
I was very disappointed in today's word.
I can't wait to start getting all of the ads and being asked to read articles as I finish the word.
No, right?
Oh man.
Subscribe
that was
to continue.
Every comment that I saw was like, oh, well, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Props to them. Like, you know what? You made a great idea and you made like low 7 digits or something for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Props to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Kudos, man.
Definitely. But yes, it should be remaining free, at least for the foreseeable future.
But
And they're working on keeping all of our streaks and wins for the move. So that would be nice.
kind of the funny thing is it like, I feel like, I mean, I guess I don't know how long everybody else has been playing, but I feel like in like the grand scheme of things, I don't think any of us like we're on like Wordle like 220 something, right? And it's like, I know personally I've been playing, let me check, 18 days. And it's like, I'm already bothered by this, let alone people that have been like in here since the beginning.
Yeah, I've only been playing for a few weeks or something.
Yep.
I'm day 10. Today was day 10, right? Yeah.
So what is your Wordle strategy?
I'm going to start guessing times every day.
get all the vowels in there.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Whatever word. Get as many vowels in as I can.
Yeah. I mostly pick a random word every day.
Yeah. I mean, or that.
One of those people.
It's like embrace the chaos.
Well, like I have like go-tos kind of like, but then I get bored. I'm like, this word's probably never going to be the first try one. And I really want to go for a single day, a single try day. I want it. But I've had one too, and that made me really happy. I was like, oh. But so you got to mix it up.
Yeah. I have some specific words I tend to go to for like my first two guesses. And then
I like lotus has been my first starting word for a while.
Good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. So teams is my starting one. Just get your A's and E's and then 3 pretty popular consonants. But that's kind of my strategy. Just go knock out. If there's no S, especially or there's an S at the end, that kind of changes things. So
I pick geeky things. Like I saw I got an update from Avatar. That's why I decided to just go with Lotus. Because I'm like, wait, Lotus, okay. And then random things pop in my head. because I really want it to be a good, solid, geeky word, but probably will never be. Like today, that's why I was so disappointed.
No, it's definitely been a geeky word before.
Mm-hmm.
It
Were
has
you
been, yes.
were you playing when it was Shire, Chris?
No,
Missed out.
that's almost like mainstream geeky now. Like
Age of the
today's
Geek,
word
baby.
would have been a little more like off the path. Could have been. Could have been.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But no, it's just a basic word.
I use the same word every day because I'm convinced that it's got to be the one someday,
Yep.
and then I'll get that. Got it in one guess. I'm just waiting for my day.
That really is the strategy that you have to do, is like, because you want to basically eliminate all the words that it's already been and then start just guessing.
Because
Other ones.
remembering all the words it's already been.
I mean, there's a list somewhere.
There is. It is not hard to find. Also, it has the lists for all future words.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's the other part of it.
I did not look at that, but it is out there if you want to get cheatsy about it. Not in the spirit of Wordle, though.
yeah. Now that it's not owned by the New York Times, maybe, but
Now it's gonna
mixed
be now that list is obsolete. It's just
yeah.
we don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna add an extra letter. It's gonna be 6.
Madness.
Madness.
I mean, 2 extra letters, only 7-letter words.
So for me, the other acquisition news that we got, big shout out to this not breaking Tuesday morning, is that Sony has bought Bungie, the creators of Halo and Destiny, a total of $3.6 billion. And it is said that Bungie will run as an independent subsidy and will remain a multi-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players where they choose to play. So, do y'all have any connections with Halo or Destiny?
I've always been mildly interested in Halo, but not really in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried Destiny. Like I know people that got really into it. We even have hardcore Destiny fans in our community.
Yeah.
Shout out Chunk the Hut.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of early Halo 1 numbered Halos, I guess, because they were phenomenal first-person shooter games that were story-driven, and also it was just an enjoyable experience. But yeah, I'm ready for more Bungie IPs, I guess.
I think that that's the weird thing. I mean, especially with Bungie not owning Halo, like Xbox owns it still. Like,
Right.
I think that that's kind of the weird thing of like Bungie's really only done 2 things. So like they've done them well,
And
but like they've only done 2 things.
they made a lot of money. Like what really actually annoyed me was with what Bungie did was they did Destiny, an MMO, and then they made Destiny 2. I'm just like, MMOs should not sequentially increase that quickly.
Yeah, they should go from 11 to 14. That's the
Exactly.
only way you can count for MMOs.
Well, I guess one thing you should say, you should wait till your MMO starts to die. Without you making expansions. You know? That's how an MMO should be. It's like, oh, well, patch it and make more content. Boom. On another thing, I mean, I guess like one thing about Destiny that I guess it does make sense to do that is obviously they make money. It's not a subscription-based game, but again, you have aesthetical and emote microtransactions that you can always include, which is what they did. those will always make money, and they're not dependent on gameplay. Or gameplay is not dependent on them.
Shanine, do you have experience with either of these?
I definitely watched people play Halo in youth group and maybe tried it a couple of times myself, but it's been a good 15 years probably. Maybe more.
I was really hoping you were gonna have some serious Pam Beasley talking about volleyball vibes. I'm like, maybe played a little bit and went to summer camp and
yeah, no college LAN parties or anything like that for me.
We couldn't do it LAN parties either. We had curfews.
I mean, just for 1 year.
And true.
College.
But also everything locked down anyway. It's just this place sucks. No.
And Chunk says in chat they didn't want to come out with a sequel to Destiny that soon, but at that time they were under contract with Activision, so they had to.
Oh, that's true.
Which is a very interesting wrinkle in this, that this is now the third company that's owned Bungie. It was owned by Activision, then it was owned by Xbox, then it was owned by Activision, now it's owned by Sony.
No,
So-
Bungie was never owned by those companies. Bungie was never owned by Xbox. They developed an exclusive IP, but I don't think they were ever owned by them. And then Microsoft purchased the IP Halo. And that's always been my gripe with Microsoft, is before they were buying IPs but not buying studios. And then screwing over the IP. They may have been owned by
on June
Activision.
19th, 2000, on the 9th anniversary of Bungie's founding, Microsoft announced that they had acquired Bungie.
Oh.
So they, to your point, they had started out independent and made Halo, and then later were purchased by Microsoft. So, but yeah, it's a very interesting wrinkle. We had a conversation in Discord today, and one of my favorite parts about whenever somebody gets bought is I have literally no clue how much any company is worth. So again, okay, it makes sense. We talked about it last week. Activision Blizzard, huge company. It makes sense that they're this big thing. But Bungie, that again has made Halo, which they don't own, and is making Destiny. They have a new game in the works as well, from an unknown IP, new IP. They are worth $3.6 billion, while Disney bought both Marvel and Lucas for $4 billion each. And that blows my mind that the Bungie company is worth almost as much as all of Marvel or all of Lucas. What? I just do not understand.
So a company's evaluation isn't solely dependent on properties or subsidiaries. A lot of factors go in, but technically you can own an IP that's more valuable than your company.
Right.
Because in that IP will not, while it does contribute, it doesn't establish your evaluation in terms of market. But also the market is completely it's arbitrary. It's made up.
I mean, the money is green, which
It
is
is-
a random
it is-
color.
I mean,
and it means literally
But
nothing.
the value, that's what
Yes.
I mean. It is completely arbitrary. And it's actually why startups often that get high market evaluations often go under, because they will take on investors at that market evaluation, but not be able to meet the investor expectations, and they overspend and not have anything marketability, transitioning into actual product and moving forward. But yeah, it's all just made up.
Mhm.
It's just like, I think you are worth X amount and we're offering this amount. But, and then like, yeah. It's just like the stock markets. It's all made up. It's all based on speculation and certain levels of productivity if they have a product.
But the thing that is interesting there is that, I mean, obviously it's an investment from the company. And so like you look at some and like again, you look at Marvel, and after like Disney's pumped out like multiple $billion films with those IPs, and then you're like, what are we doing here, Sony? I'm interested. Like, what do they know that we don't know? And I want to know. I need you to tell me. But they probably will not tell us for quite a while, which means it is time to get into our announcements.
One thing we should say also is that in a conversation with PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan, that there's more acquisitions in the works for Sony. They have reported. Granted, they also, like, with the announcement that they are looking forward to working with Bungie, also the direct pipeline that Bungie has for transitioning their Destiny IP to other things like movies and TV, being owned by just that direct partnership. I'm trying to find where exactly. We'll move on. But yeah, there was a.
Find it for post-show chat.
Yes.
Announcements. Who is streaming this week?
I will be back with Spiritfarer tomorrow night.
Woo.
Yay.
We'll see. I have to find a new streaming day. I'm not available Wednesdays anymore.
Yes. I will be doing Horizon Zero Dawn because I'm planning in that and trying to get that checked off before the 18th. 18th. Whenever. 15th? I'm trying to get that done before Forbidden West comes out. So that I can just smooth sailing from one into the next. So
it is the 18th.
18th. Haha. Look at that. I have it ingrained in my mind.
So then for us, apparently we're supposed to get bad weather, which, means our grid could shut down. But assuming that doesn't happen, Friday night, Deanna and I will be streaming some Cameron plus Deanna, playing some Magic with friends. Paper Commander coming. And then Sunday should be back as well. Streaming something, probably more Pathfinder. We'll see. Probably Pokemon, one of those. It's going to be Pokemon. I don't know why I even suggested anything else. And then last week we did have to postpone book club. We'll be coming back with dates for Binti later on. So stay tuned for those announcements. And then that brings us into our top 3 list of the week, submitted by Chunk the Hut. We are talking about our top 3 finales. And so any kind of finale will do, of course. And as always, there are no rules. If you're hanging out with us in chat, you can play along as well. But Emma, why don't you start us off?
Let's see. What do I have? I have Schitt's Creek.
Oh, good finale.
Because it was a solid send-off to a solid show that did not completely ruin the entire thing. They saw where their end was, and they met it, and then they left.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we're not going to go beyond what our hopes, dreams, desires were. Period at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, we're going to stay in our lane.
We're going to stay in our lane.
We're going to not definitely drag this out for way too many seasons.
Bye.
Chris, what about you?
On my list, goes to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I liked its season finale because it's kind of unexpected, but also it's like I liked it because it relieved Buffy from having to be the Vampire Slayer. It's like you spent all this time trying to fight against the pits of hell consuming, and technically you failed. Like fail, but also should not been a position you were put in anyway. So it's fine. And Sunnydale kind of deserved it. Just saying.
They had it coming.
They had it coming.
Janine,
They only
what
had
about you?
themselves to blame.
I will start by saying that this one was surprisingly hard. Like every show I could think of was either like, I don't remember that finale, so it's obviously not a top 3 for me, or I vehemently hate that finale,
Mm-hmm.
or the show isn't finished yet and I kept forgetting that it wasn't over. So so nobody can take any of mine because my list is very short. The first one I am going to say is The Office. I
Mhm.
love it. It still gets me every time. I cry so many tears every single time. It's beautiful and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Keeping the sitcom train going. Mine is Parks and Rec. I feel like every time that we talk about finales, Parks and Rec is like my go-to. Great final season and great finale. Perfect balance of fan service, but like giving us meaningful conclusions to so many arcs. So good. Emma, back to you.
No rules.
No rules.
So technically, the ending of Horizon Zero Dawn is considered a finale.
It is a finale.
It is a finale, but is it a series?
Any finale.
Yes,
it ends the
because there's a
series of those stories.
game coming out.
So that means that the finale would be the end of Horizon Zero Dawn 2, like Forbidden West.
It's not out yet. So the ending is still the one that we have access
But it's still
to.
a single title then.
We're all one reboot away from there being another finale.
Yeah, no. So there's my number 2, because solid conclusion. I am taking finale in the terms of a conclusion to a
Just ignoring
story.
the word series.
To be fair, series is in the notes, but it hasn't been used anywhere else. So
Oh. I completely base this on series.
again, it's a series of stories within the game.
Is it?
They're side quests.
Yeah.
You know?
I say this as
There's
I
no
have a video
rules,
game on my
Chris.
list that
This
I'm
is
planning
how
to
it
do.
works.
So
Oh, Chunk is saying cheater, and I feel like he gets final say on this one.
Okay. In that case, I will go with The Good Place, because that's the only other one I could honestly think of. This was a really hard one.
Good Place finale was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And it did make my short list.
Michael Shore. Being awesome. Chris, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Your Lie in April. But any finale that can make me cry is good. But that one especially makes me cry. I can just watch the finale episode and I'll just cry the entire time.
Janine?
Okay. I feel like my last 2 are going to be very controversial. My next one is Chuck. Nobody likes it, but
Yeah.
it's my favorite kind of finale. It makes me cry. It's open-ended. I love it. I love it so much.
I enjoyed the finale
Good.
of that. Also, like, I mean, like it's Chuck was one of those ones that I'm just like you have to end this. It's like before you start just getting ridiculous plots that don't make sense. Do not let
Too
Chuck
late?
become a soap opera. Like it was just like
But what if
they
it
got
works
to the
in that
point.
format?
They got to that point that it made sense to end, and they made it work. Yes, it got like they did do some crazy arcs and stuff, but like I think that's part of the charm of Chuck, but they didn't try to stretch it out beyond that, and they left it, like as you mentioned, open, and that's why I like the finale for that. But
And that's why you put it on Shanine's list.
sure, I was just agreeing. She said it was going to be controversial, but I agreed.
So mine might also be controversial considering the take on Emma's. But that's the Final Fantasy 15 ending, which is a great finale to the series of events that occurs in that story. But I do understand that may be considered cheating by Chunk the Hut, who is the arbiter of this question. And so I hereby submit Scrubs season 8 finale. There is no 9th season. So Scrubs season 8 as my actual pick. So again, great wrap up, great finale in developing for those characters. Sitcoms knocking it out of the park tonight. All I got to say. Emma, my impression was you did not have a third one after being called a cheater.
I did not have one, but now have one through scrolling through Netflix. Thanks, Netflix list. And that is Stargate SG-1 because I like that show. I have no other reason. I just like that show, and they carried it on too long, but they didn't have a Scrubs season 9.
There is no season 9.
So
There's no war in Bossing Say.
yeah, no. There you go. That's all I've got.
Chris, number 3.
On the sci-fi route, I pick Star Trek: The Next Generation. Season finale, we follow Picard kind of time traveling, and kind of reliving his initial experiences with his crew, and just enjoying
Gosh, is this gonna be spoilers?
I mean,
I understand it's old, but I'm watching it for the first time, and I'm gonna take my headphones out if this is spoilers.
I
Right now.
guess I wouldn't necessarily say it's spoilers. No, I'm gonna say this is not spoilers.
They
Like,
all died in the
continue.
end.
Um,
So,
Okay.
I mean, we have a whole spin-off
I
with
know he's
Picard, so we
Picard.
know he's not dead. No, I'm not gonna say what he does, but like it gives us a picture of his relationship with his crewmates, outside of their, I guess, collective experience of just being on the ship, and it just brings a nice closure to the overall series. See, no spoilers. You just know that he's kind of time hopping. Boom.
and then Picard was a Klingon the whole time.
That happens in Discovery, not just, I think that's season 2 of Discovery. Not Picard specifically, but there's Discovery has some weird stuff.
Someone is.
Discoveries are made, is all we're gonna say.
But,
I don't know. I've never actually seen it, so here we go. Janine, what is your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is Supernatural.
I've made my stance on Supernatural well known.
That's fine. I will make my stance on it. Well known. I love it all. I love Jensen Ackles. I love Jared Padalecki. I would watch them in Supernatural forever.
I see both sides of the fence.
I didn't know that people were very upset about the finale, and that it kind of like had to be changed because of
COVID.
pandemics and things. But I still really liked it. It was lovely.
Not gonna lie. the finale of Supernatural is the best thing to come out of COVID because it ended.
You could say the finale was so good that CW
was.
went out of business
Yeah.
afterwards.
It
It was the only thing keeping CW afloat was Supernatural.
Honestly, it really was. If we're being straight up honest here, it was.
Yeah. To me, it's just Supernatural went on too long.
Well, that's your opinion. I liked it, and I liked the finale. It was all I ever wanted for Sam and Dean.
There you go.
For me, a finale that literally no one can dislike. And that is the finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender. A great, like, 3-part finale. A fantastic conclusion to all the buildup that's happened over the 3 seasons. Puts all the characters in a great spot. The great fight, like probably one of the best like animated fights out there. And you have like these awesome individual moments as well as like these conclusions of like the Zuko Azula arc. Obviously, you have the Fire Lord Ozai. Like, there's so much stuff that goes on in that finale, and it is all handled so well. And yeah, I was scared about saving it for third because I wasn't sure if it was going to show up on someone else's list, but
I knew it was going to be yours, so I didn't
okay.
put it on.
I appreciate you, Shanine.
Left it off and found other things. I decided to go find things that weren't going to be on any of your lists.
And in chat, Chunk says absolutely, probably my favorite finale of all time. That is because Chunk, you are a man of culture. So, again, literally no one can dislike the Avatar: Last Airbender finale. I challenge you to @not so foreign with all of your takes on why it wasn't good. I don't want to hear them, but you can tell him. He will filter them,
Chris.
and then tell me the ones that are meaningful, which will be none of them.
None of them. Like,
so
I'm just gonna end up in a Twitter war. Like what? You uncultured swine?
Yeah,
I'll be just scrolling through the entire thing from the background, you know.
And I just get to sit on the side,
comments,
eating popcorn, reading through
popcorn, here for the drama.
But that does wrap up our top 3 season finales or series finales or finales in general. All of those things. Next week, we will be back with our top 3 non-electronic based hobbies from which was submitted by Avoided Ice. And so,
a good one.
Yeah. I feel like this is one.
Right.
Yes. Non-electronic.
Correct. So like things other than video games and TV shows.
Things other than all
things
of the
can
things
be
that we talked about
electrical.
tonight.
I would assume.
Yes, we clarified last week.
A hobby.
Right. We clarified with her that they can be electrical. They just like electronic is mostly like digital.
Yeah.
Is what they intended.
As always, there are no rules.
Top 3 favorite analog hobbies.
With that, it has been a great week. We hope you'll come back and join us next week for episode 196. You can find us as OneGeek411 on our social media. You can join our Discord server if you want to chat, or shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. You can check out that Redbubble store, watch live on Twitch, and check out the videos over on YouTube. And then, if you want to connect with us, you can also find us on our personal social media, minus Humar Whittle.
Minus I am not prepared with an I on all platforms.
I'm the Hoot and Howl on Twitter and Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES on Instagram.
And I'm not so foreign.
It's been a great week.
Wash your hands.
Read a book.